and welcome to the CAAT Center's Artist Spotlight. My name is Crystal Burrell, and today we're going to be sitting down with another exciting creative artist. Reintroduction to many, but I would like to introduce you to Mr. Aaron McClary. Did I say it right?
You said it
right. So we want to start, well, thank you for sitting down with us first. We want to start off, tell people, your own words briefly, who you are, where you're from, and a little bit about what you do.
Well, I'm a photographer, videographer, graphic designer, web designer out of Chester, Pennsylvania. I started off doing it for like 18 years now. So I did a lot of video work for a lot of artists from Chester, Pennsylvania. Dealt with a lot of videographers and photographers from Chester, Pennsylvania. I recently moved out here for like a few years, and I started dealing with a few celebrities like A-list artists and stuff like that. So I've been away. So my boy Mar Easy brought me back to Chester, Pennsylvania to try to help out in the community as far as the photography community and the culture and stuff like that. So that's what we plan on doing.
Okay, well once again, thanks for sitting down with me. So I always tell people to understand an artist, but before you can understand where they're at now in their career, you have to understand where they came from. So talk a little bit about when you first picked up the camera, how that was, and what your intention was originally.
My intention was when I very first picked up the camera was shoot music videos, because me and one of my closest friends at the time was we was rappers and stuff like that. So we were spending a lot of money shooting music videos from outside. Like my boy Jay West from Jersey, so we did a lot of work from him. So I had to try to learn how to, how to do it so we could work with our budget. So I had to keep kicking out all this money to do it. So that's how I originally picked up the camera. It was for basically video editing as far as music videos and stuff like that. Okay,
so you started in the videographer world. So when did it transition to also taking pictures and stuff like that?
Actually, I think one of my real main photo shoots was with Rich Lachelle.
Okay.
Photo shoot with Kev Yes God Thomas did the video at Chester Park. So once I did that photo shoot, my everything kind of blew up after that. Everybody wanted to shoot it, to book photo shoots and stuff like that. So maybe I'll stick with it and start learning the art a little bit more.
Okay, so would you say that, when do you feel like the moment you were oh, I can take this serious? Were you, from the moment you picked up the camera, you were I'm gonna create a business? Or was it kind of like a hobby? You're wow, I'm good at this?
Oh no, it was never a hobby. Anything I do, I tried to do the research to see how the revenue gonna come in to get paid and how much people charge and stuff like that. So it was really never a hobby. I took it more serious than anything that I ever done.
Really?
Yeah.
So speaking of art, how important do you feel the art scene is to the community of Chester?
It's very important, because learning the arts is it's a trade basically, and it's a talent. It's something that's God-given, something you can learn basically. So basically, it can save a lot of our youth from going to the streets and stuff like that if they apply it right. You know what I'm saying?
Do you feel like it saved you in a sense?
Oh, I know it saved me.
Okay.
It saved me.
Where do you feel like you would be if you didn't ever pick up the camera?
I'd be somewhere else. Probably wouldn't be here having this interview.
Oh, well, I'm glad you are. Okay. So, when you speak of photography and videography, in your opinion, obviously, what do you think is more difficult to master?
What's more difficult to master?
Because I want to ask you which one you like best, but instead of saying that, I said which one's more difficult.
That's a good question. And nobody never asked me that. That's a real good question. I would say neither one of them is really difficult. Well, they both difficult. It's not difficult, but it's always a learning process. You can never really master neither or. Neither one of them can never master neither one of them. So if anybody ever say they master, constantly learning. Every day is something new. Every second is something new. So I never mastered neither. None of them. I never mastered none of them. So I'm just good at what I do. But to say you mastered it, then that means you basically stopping yourself. You basically paying a cap on yourself, because you saying I couldn't learn no more. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I would say, but answer your question, I'd say we're more difficult, and I would say as far as it depends on what you're filming basically. If you're filming something like a music video to you filming a photo shoot, I would say more so a photo shoot would be more easier.
So you talked about how you started off in music videos. What is your, favorite type of video to shoot? So what's your favorite type of set to be on?
Alright, so I would say R&B videos in general. I would love to shoot R&B videos because it's more of a storyline. It's not more just jumping in front of the camera and doing X, Y, and Z.
You mean like a singer, somebody singing?
Yeah, like
a music video for R&B artists. Okay.
Yeah, basically. But I actually shoot rap videos also too. They're kind of fun with it. I want to be real energetic and stuff.
So what do you think? Because we talk about editing a lot when it comes to videographer. Talk about the editing process. Is it as tedious as people make it seem?
As far as video or photography?
Video specifically, with the editing process. Do you feel like it's super tedious? Or do you, because I know for me, like I'm not a videographer, that I do like edit stuff on my phone and stuff, and I feel like that's like, I don't know, I love that part. But I know for some people, they're like, that's super tedious, and that's why they kind of try to stay away.
Yeah, it's tedious as far as what the client wants. But sometimes the client won't tell you what they want until after the video is shot instead of before the video is shot. So if the client tells you what they want before the video is shot, you already know in your head how to shoot the video, so it won't be tedious.
Right.
If they don't tell you beforehand, you know what? I want a plane flying across at this time. Like, you didn't tell me that beforehand, so now it becomes tedious. Now I gotta add visual effects and stuff like that, and that wasn't even in your budget. You get what I'm saying? So it'd be a little bit different. That's when it becomes real tedious, stuff like that. But other than that, really I try to pre-write out the shoot before I even go out and film most of the time. But a lot of times, most of my videos is running gun shoot, and that means just popping up and just filming and stuff like that. And some of them come out great.
Okay.
Some of them come out good.
Okay. When it comes to just the world of photography, videography, who are some people that inspire you? And it can be on a big scale, on a local scale.
Photography, Omar Cease. That used to be from Chester, Pennsylvania. Well, he's from Georgia, but he moved to Chester, Pennsylvania. He moved back to Atlanta, Georgia. But,
what was his name?
Omar Cease.
Okay.
It would be him. After that, it would be Mar-Easy.
Okay.
Mar-Easy, yeah. I think he was like the top photographer, period.
Okay.
Not even just in the local or nothing like that. I think he's the top photographer, period.
Okay.
So when it comes to photography, it would be that. Video-wise, I would say my boy, Major Motion Pictures out in Philadelphia.
Okay.
He's the top videographer right now.
Hey, okay, so shout out to them. So let's talk a little bit about your transition. Because I didn't meet you as Aaron, and I kept telling them that. I was like, that's his name? Like, so let's talk about your transition from, what was it? Braggs?
Yeah, Braggs.
From Braggs to now Aaron, and having this whole media company and everything. So talk a little bit about that.
The transition was when I had to get through certain doors. It was like, when they say Braggs and nicknames and stuff like that, and I had to walk through certain buildings and stuff like that, it wasn't resonating right. Even with my pictures, I couldn't put Braggs on a wedding picture or a baby picture. Like, you don't want to see that. It looks like graffiti or something. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
so you have to think about that. Tags is everything. Logos is everything. It's got to be branded. And then I'm like, my last name means everything to me. Family always means everything to me. You know what I mean? So that's what we do it for, your family and stuff like that. So I have I had to have a stamp for my family, basically.
Right.
I can't leave here and like, oh, Braggs, oh, that's Braggs, oh, that's Braggs. That doesn't stand. McClary stands stronger than Braggs to me. So that's why I switched it over to McClary Media.
Okay. I mean, they say that you hustle for your last name, not your first.
Exactly.
Especially for men. You know, I would love to think the same thing, but you know, eventually mine will change. But okay, so how was that for people who knew you? You know, your past. Were they like refusing to call you Aaron, or like was it weird?
Nah, people still calling me Braggs. A lot of people still calling me Braggs, but a lot of people never even knew my name was Aaron. But that just shows you how close you might know me. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's
how I can decipher who know me when I'm really out in public, and I can decipher who know me from where and who they know me from. Rather they call me Aaron or Braggs, but 80% of people call me Braggs, but I know where they know me from. So, but the other 20 I might not know at all. You know what I'm saying? They're like, Braggs, you Braggs or something like that. So it's a difference. That's the difference. But yeah, a lot of people still call me Braggs. Mainly the people from the city.
Okay.
People I worked with back in the day. But I don't mind that either, because it's tattooed on my own arm actually, so I can't.
So it's a part of you for life.
Yeah.
But just talking about their transition, how important do you feel like it is to be professional? You know, with all of us being like creative artists, and sometimes you want to keep like your edge or your culture. You don't want to lose that as you step into other rooms, but how important do you think the professional side is as you try to branch out of like a city like Chester?
It's very, very, very important because like they say, what is it? Your net worth. Your net worth is your net worth, and that's what it is. So that's how important it is. Like wherever you want to stay, you don't want to cap yourself out, basically. So most of the time you cap yourself out, we're trying to keep it too hood or to keep it too street or certain languages, cussing and stuff like that. That kind of stop you from sponsors and everything else. A lot of people don't know that too.
Because like perception. Yeah. So sometimes they don't even give you the chance to like get to know you. They're just going off of your name or the logo that they see. So yeah, that's definitely important.
It's your brand. It's always your brand.
Yeah, you are your brand.
Every day you are your brand. Every day.
That's what I'm learning. You are your brand. So I think being professional is super important. Let's talk about coming from a city like Chester. How do you feel like you became discoverable? Like, you know, what do you think you did different that kind of put yourself out there so that, you know, other people outside the city were like, oh, I like his work and I want to work with him?
In the city or out the city?
Out the city.
Oh, out the city is way more easier. Anywhere I go, I could capitalize off of it. Like when I went to Miami, I capitalized off of it. When I went to Atlanta, I capitalized off of Vegas. Like all these places I capitalized off of just because I wasn't from there. So they jump to me real
fast. It's like somebody I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Let me jump to him. So it's a different flavor than what I usually have, basically. So they just automatically jump to me. So it's way more easier outside than inside.
The people who already know you. So is there anything, like what do you think makes your brand stand out though? So let's say that there is about 3, you know, videographers that they don't know. Like why are they booking with you over other artists?
I'm in their faces.
Okay.
So I'm always in their faces. I'm always around the who's and stuff like that. So they really want to book with me more so, and they see my work also after the work ethic and everything like that.
Okay.
So I think that's how it goes.
So you feel like you've been like building your brand outside of here.
Right.
Okay. So
I had to rebuild my brand. So this is a whole new brand that I rebuilt.
Okay.
You know, Brags was already built. So
rebranding. Yeah,
that was the hard part about everything, rebuilding that brand.
Okay.
Aaron McClary, but it's built now.
And you feel like that's important.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the media company.
McClary Media it stands under graphic design, web design, videography, photography, and marketing consultant.
Okay. Do you have a team or are you doing all this stuff? Okay. So how are you juggling in life? Is this like your main thing you do?
Yes.
Okay, so you're a full-time entrepreneur.
Yes.
So how do you kind of juggle all those different roles that you can play?
It's as easy as a text message. Just like when you're on the phone or maybe in a group text message or something like that. Just as easy as reading the text message and then I just go on about that. Or you pay me, you send the payment, or you in the queue. I just go on about that. As long as you send the payment, you're in the queue. Like it might be like 20 people might be talking to me a day, but only 7 or 8 might send a payment. So that's the ones I'm looking forward to. Everybody else is just in the queue. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it's way more easier like that, because you might get a lot of what you would call inquiries. But if the inquiries ain't paying, you gotta still talk to them and stuff like that. But you know, you gotta put your priorities first, whichever one's pays you first, and then you go in the queue. Okay. So it's easy actually. It's real easy.
Okay. How are most clients finding you? Is it through social media? Is it through referrals?
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth. Okay. So do you have a lot of like recurring clients?
Yes.
Okay. So how important, just because of the day and age we're in, how important do you think social media has been?
It's very important. Social media for me always been important.
Okay.
That's how I branded everything. As far as I branded since MySpace days.
I remember MySpace.
I was doing MySpace days, like I was branded there, like Soldier Boy, Chief Keef, all of them. I talked to them on an everyday basis back then in MySpace. I created most of their MySpace pages back then.
Oh wow.
You know what I'm saying? So I started way back then when people thought the internet was more being nerdy and stuff like that. Like I come from the age where you had to hook your telephone cord into the listening, the AOL just comes to your house. Like I was creating websites and stuff since then. Okay. So it all comes from that, just jumping on to basically keeping up with the digital and technology. Like right now it's ready to be the metaverse. Like you gotta stay up on things like that. So,
right.
Even as far as photographers, we already know they're gonna need us. As far as graphic designers, they're gonna need us. Videographers, they're gonna need us. So
anything
they always
digital.
gonna need us. Yeah, they're always gonna need us. So even the malls and stuff gonna shut down soon. So everything's gonna be like online, metaverse and stuff like that. So you're not gonna be able to go to the malls no more. So you gotta hurry up and jump onto these things.
Right.
And they gotta realize that our kids is already onto it by playing Roblox and stuff like that. Because that ain't nothing but the metaverse. Roblox is Fortnite and stuff. It's
you know all like with the glasses?
Yeah, it's all the metaverse. So we gotta be on it. Our kids, the younger crowd is already on it. The 8 and 9 and 10
So this is what they growing up on, pretty much. So
we the older folks now.
Right.
So,
well, not me.
Yeah, we adapt. But that's how it is now.
But I mean, I was watching this one interview and they were saying that just us as a culture, it's like either you're gonna jump on it now, you know, and learn about it, or you're just gonna be like forced at one point.
Yeah.
And I think we try so hard to fight a lot of things, but especially with social media, digital marketing, all that stuff. Obviously, that's the way of the world.
Right.
So I think it's super important to
learn how to work it.
Yeah, definitely learn how to work that stuff, and or hire people that do know how to do it.
Right, that's another thing too.
Yeah, I think that is definitely. So let's talk about life as an entrepreneur a little bit. What is some advice you would give to other local entrepreneurs? That like just some advice that you have learned on your journey.
Don't give up. Like, you're gonna have hard times. Don't just do it for money. Because if you're gonna do it for money, you're gonna lose fast.
Okay, and why do you say that? Emphasize on that.
Because I would say that because there's plenty of days I went broke for 2 or 3 days, 4 days with no money, probably like 15 cents to my name and get chips or nothing. Plenty of days I've done that before. Like I've done it with other entrepreneurs before. It might be a group of us that might buy a $2 bag of chips and we might share the $2 bag of chips, but 4 days later we might come up with $4,000 or $5,000. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But some people are like, man, bunk this, I quit. Let me go get this 9 to 5 and work for $18 an hour, $20 an hour. Once you start adding it up, like that don't make sense. I'm working for $20 an hour. That's about $120 a day after taxes, like maybe $100 a day. When I charge $200 for my logos, and I can make in 30 minutes. It don't add up. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I think it's all about your time. Like actually put in like a value on your time.
Right.
And then a lot of people just want to go the easy route, or what they think is the easy route.
Definitely not the easy route.
Yeah, people just think like, oh, let me just go get a job real quick.
Yeah, you got it. It's like there's nothing wrong with getting a job, but use that to fund something that's going to last. Exactly. Don't use nothing that you could come in there and they could say you fired the next day. You know what I'm saying?
And then you're like left with nothing. You're trying to figure out another plan.
You got to have more respect for yourself. Like most of the people that have 9 to 5s, they on their day off, what's the first thing they say they're going to do? Chill, go to sleep. That don't make sense. That don't make sense, right? I'm going to sleep today, I'm off. And then your alarm clock wake up 5 o'clock in the morning and go to work, and you rushing to go to work, but you're not doing nothing like that for yourself. You lost respect for yourself, but you don't see it.
Yeah, I think people get so caught up into like survival mode that they forget to like live. Right. So do you think like that you're living in your purpose?
Yeah, definitely now.
Okay, now? Yeah. So you feel like it was
when I was working now, I was working at one point, it killed me every day, like, and I was missing out on so many opportunities, so many phone calls for bigger purposes where I could have been farther than I am now, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that was triggering me to actually say, man, you know what, I quit. You know what I mean? Talk to more easy. I'm like, man, I quit, you know what, I quit. Like, we gonna make this together, that's what I told him.
Okay, what's one tidbit that you learned, like just with the whole year span of like doing it for yourself 100%?
What I learned,
or what you're learning, let's say that.
It's about your, it's mainly about your area.
Okay, your environment, you mean?
Yeah, environment, any environment, and then it's about the time. Basically, it's better to explain, like, say like February, March, you know, it's tax time. So it's basically like that. You gotta look at the area and the revenue that's coming in the area, not just you, not just the working person, not just the people with money. You know when the money is coming, you know where to move, you gotta know where to migrate to. Like up here, you're like, oh well, February, March is tax time. People want to spend money like crazy, so jump into that. Like anywhere else, you know, it's money constantly. Like in New York, it's money constantly. Like I mean, you gotta realize how New York is. It's like a studio apartment, spending $2,500 for a studio apartment with your kitchen at your foot. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so you know, if I go there right now, you know, it's always money. You know how to charge them. You know what I'm saying? So it's about where you go, and you know what you can charge the person, and you know how you can survive.
Right.
If I go to Florida, it'd be different, or Atlanta, it'd be different. It'd be way much cheaper than it is up here. You know what I'm saying? So it's a difference. So you gotta know how to maneuver.
So it's kind of like coming up with a plan.
Yeah, coming up with a plan and strategizing wherever you're gonna go. There's money everywhere, so you gotta go about that.
Okay. So you have definitely done work outside of the city, and you work with some some celebrities and people like that. But what was your favorite or most memorable set you've been on? And tell me a little bit about how that came about.
The best performer that I actually been on was Kodak Black, actually.
Okay, so you shot for him?
Huh?
You shot for him?
Yeah,
Okay.
Kodak Black, and that was in I think we did that in Philadelphia.
Okay.
And I remember I got up on stage and we had to film him close. He's like, yeah, film right here. And at the time I'm looking around for security. I'm like, this young boy don't got no. This is around the time Meek was locked up. So he was dealing with it. I actually gonna post that soon too. But I think Kodak Black, that joint was lit. That's when he had his whole house built up on the stage and stuff like that. So that was lit too.
I like when people, when rappers actually put some energy into their performances and stuff. It just shows the creativity. Okay, is there anybody that you want to shoot with that you haven't?
Jay-Z.
Like Dream? Okay, Jay-Z.
Yeah, Jay-Z. Who else? Drake.
Why? Are these just for obvious reasons?
Yeah. Obviously. Drake and somebody like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just to add in on my list. That's it.
Did you shoot with Cardi before?
Yeah.
I heard that. What did you do?
We filmed at the Fillmore in Wilmington.
Oh, okay. So, what does 5 years from now look for you and your media company?
5 years from now, I think I'm gonna try to
yourself?
Grow the media company. That's what I'm planning on doing now. Expanding, teaching people the trade, rather if it be somebody younger, female, male, whoever. Try to teach the trade so I could get some weight off my shoulder and we could get more bookings together.
Right. I'm gonna say it's definitely a team effort.
Definitely.
Do you have any specific projects that you're working on for your brand?
As far as what?
I don't know. Do you have any projects? Because do you only do client stuff or do you actually do stuff for your brand? So videos, you come up with that type of stuff, or is it more of a client base?
I have a couple of movies written.
Okay. So you wrote them?
Yeah, I've been wrote them years ago. We kept trying to shoot them over and over again, but we could never finish them. So I'm like, it has to be perfect in order for it to be out.
Right, I get that. What's the basis of one of the movies?
They are horror movies.
Cause you scary stuff.
Yeah, I must say, try something different than the average type of movie that we grew up in. Cause all the other movies kind of the same, or the lifestyle that we used to live. So it's it's the same movie.
You don't want to keep telling the same story.
Same story, exactly.
No, I totally understand that. Is there anything else that you're passionate about outside of the media stuff, obviously? Any other avenues you want to tap into?
Well, I tapped into everything, really. I tapped into clothing too. I'm doing clothing to Reciprocal Prayers. I used to have the Flat Focus clothing, as you know. That was my clothing brand. Okay,
so talk a little bit about your partnership with the CAAT Center.
Oh, partnership with the CAAT Center.
How did that come about? How did you end up here? All that.
Okay. Yeah, my boy Mar Easy introduced me to the CAAT Center. We've been talking about it for a long period of time. He knew we needed just a newer space, safe haven to shoot, so we decided to come here. And I met Tara, she's awesome. So everything that she said was in the same plans that we was planning to go with, and the route that we was planning to go with. So it was a no-brainer.
Right. Okay. Well, we're definitely happy to have you guys. So how important do you feel collaboration is? I know a lot of people, focusing on building their own islands, but how important do you feel it is to attach islands together?
It's always important. It's very important. See, the thing is when people do collaborations or feel like they're attaching to something, they always want to think that the thing is bigger than them instead of going in as a team effort. It could never affect me as McClary Media to be a part of CAAT Center, because I'm still McClary Media. CAAT Center is still CAAT Center, so it's not affecting them because everybody's still our own entity, but we're still as a team that we can work together. Cause
I think it makes stronger.
Yeah, it's missing pieces of the puzzle.
Right.
You need more than just McClary Media. You need more than just the CAAT Center. Even the CAAT Center needs somebody that's bigger than them. You know what I'm saying? Everybody needs somebody, but it's just the right somebody to need. So it's all about attaching yourself to the right people, basically. No matter what team it is. No matter what team it is. Just attaching yourself to the right people and we have the same focus.
Right. No, that is super important. So recently, as you know, as everybody knows, we lost a phenomenal person. You spoke about Marizi, but I didn't want to just breeze by that. We were talking about artist spotlight, and a lot of people, I know for me, starting in music, people look at an artist as just someone who raps or sings.
Right.
But I feel like we're all artists in our own right. So
Right.
kind of talk about you guys' relationship, and kind of just how you feel like you losing him really impacted the art culture.
Oh wow, yeah.
I know that was like so many questions.
Yes, yeah, it was.
In one, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I knew Mar-Eazy's for like years before he used to do photography. We used to make beats in his room and stuff like that. So when he first started, I was one of the first people to go to try to learn how to work the cameras and stuff like that.
Okay.
So he started building again from there. Because I used to never hang around and stuff like that. We just knew each other from school. We might be around each other doing music and stuff like that. So that's what brought us back together. It got us close once we started doing the same thing in the same lane and stuff like that. So we started learning from each other. Actually, yeah, Mar-Eazy, like, he was awesome. Still is awesome. Like, his artwork is amazing. I don't think, like I still say in the beginning of the interview, I don't think no photographer on this earth could touch it. And I told him that while he was alive. You know what I'm saying? This is not something I'll say once he passed along. And you know that this is what I told him when he was alive. If you look at his work, it's crazy. I can't even match it. I told him that, like, man, you the man. Like, how you do this? How you do that? His vision is crazy. It's really art. It's really, very art. So, yeah.
Yeah, so I just, I know that was like, something that definitely impacted a lot of people and not just people in Chester. I follow a lot of people on Instagram, like creative directors, like models, and that is definitely something that has touched everybody. So let's talk about where people can find you if they want, to chop it up, if they want to book you.
You can find me at McClary Media at McClary Media on Instagram. That's all I got right now. I'm not 100% sure if I'm gonna go to the website base, but if it is, it will be McClary Media LLC. So it's either or. McClary Media at Instagram, and if I pop up with the website, it'll be McClaryMediaLLC.com. So right now, I'm trying to stay away from the websites for right now, but I might pop back up on one. I'm not sure.
Okay, I mean, as long as they have some ways to contact you, and you'll also be here at the CAAT Center, so you can also find him here.
24/7.
So before we get out of here, what's next? Anything happening? Anything you want them to know about you that we did not discuss?
Nah, that's everything.
Not that that's everything, but I guess we can say stay tuned in. Definitely make sure you guys follow the CAAT Center, follow the Miss Unplug, and follow Aaron. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is the Artist Spotlight. I'm your girl, Crystal Burrell, also known as the Miss Unplug. Until next time.